live. Today we continue with Chetsang Rinpoche's biography. Just wanted to show this Thangka for y'all. Not because it's expensive, which it is, but also because it's about this tree we're gonna go into, because in Vajrayana it's very important to have the guru and how his disciples contribute to the teachings of Buddhism. Yeah, here we have a nice pagoda. And please support the publication if you have the means. Okay, so tantric practices consists of 2 stages, not 12. 2 stages. I think there are 12 petals in here. Yes. The generation stage and the completion stage. The process of generation, kirim, contains visualizations and recitations, and the completion stage, tsokrim, encompasses works with subtle energies and the path of the Mahamudra. Today, the Gagyupa mainly rely on the Chakrasamvara Tantra for the generation stage and the 6 yogas of Naropa for the completion stage, although the process of generation was originally based on the Hevajra Tantra. One may, of course, make use of any Anuttara Yoga Tantra, but if one takes the force of history into account, the transmission originated with Marpa, and he taught the Hevajra Tantra for the generation stage. So Rinpoche, Chetsang Rinpoche, His Holiness, has made it his mission to revive this original tradition and reestablish it in all Drikung monasteries. In the course of his studies, he has discovered additional remarkable commentarial works that he is examining and revising. He received a previously unknown text by Marpa on the Hevajra Tantra from a man from eastern Tibet who had worked for a long time in the archives of the Potala in Lhasa, where numerous works were simply jumbled together, but at least they were preserved. He discovered the unknown work by Marpa among them and instantly recognized the work's significance, but because he was unable to take anything out of the Potala, he carefully copied the text and added his copy to the collection of Taklung Kagyu texts. Rinpoche had access to that collection and thus to the copy of Marpa's text because he actively supports the currently weak Taklung Kagyu lineage and is personally supervising the education of the young Taklung Shabdrung in Dehradun. He has painstakingly revised this previous unknown work containing unique teachings of Marpa and publishing it in a special edition containing the root text, Marpa's commentary, and Rinpoche's own notes, with his explanations of concepts that Marpa left unexplained or that are difficult to interpret. समझने के लिए थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है, इसलिए बहुत notes ज़रूरी है. From a practitioner. That's why, okay, this is a caveat, but that's why Nepalis are so great, in my opinion, because their artwork basically solidifies the Vajrayana experience, right? Even if they may or may not have like similarly high realizations of emptiness, but their artwork is a way of like saying it's not just reserved to this group of people who live in the snowlands, right? Because Nepal is a valley. Like, just because like there's snow in a certain place doesn't make you a better Vajrayana practitioner, you know? Like, that's like the huge like environmental change a lot of exiled Tibetans unfortunately had to experience when they left their homelands. But now it's like with the help of Dharma and donations, like they can get their lives back together and they can live in places that do have snow, that are not India, you know, like that's just where we are in history right now. Okay, back to the book. In addition, Marpa's collected works are in the process of being edited by 4 monks at the Songzan Library. Thanks to Chetsang Rinpoche's efforts, Marpa is being returned to his proper place of honor in the lineage. In Tantrayana, when taking refuge, one visualizes a tree of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, lamas, Dharma texts, and other objects of refuge. This is called the field of accumulation. The trunk of the tree stands upright, straight as a pillar. It consists of the lineage lamas and represents the transmission of teaching and experience. Only if this unbroken continuity is maintained is the further transmission of blessing and inspiration guaranteed. With the retrieval of Marpa's teachings, Rinpoche has returned the source of the Gagyu tradition's inner stability to the lineage. This stability is essential. Not only does the transmission's connection to its historical roots depend upon it, but because the transmission of the lineage arises from the formless, enlightened experience of the Dharmakaya, the lineage lama who holds the transmission thereby becomes inseparable from the transmission's origin. As he is identical with the ultimate level of enlightened being, he is able to make the blessing power available to his disciples so that their minds are increasingly turned toward the Dharma. And we have a photo of Chetsang Rinpoche blessing the peace stupa in Zalazanto, Hungary. This profound energy is like a resonance that is passed on in reincarnation and transmission lineages, as if from one sounding box to another. A realized master brings a special resonance into the world that can permeate those who come under its influence, resonating in and through them. It can strike a chord with those waiting to be moved by the right sound, a chord that assists in unfolding that core of higher potential immanent in them. This is why the sound of authentic Dharma is so fragile and so precious, and why its continuity through the manifestation of great masters is so critically important for the uninterrupted resonance of transmission, sounding onward unceasingly. Every tone of music, of awakening, will diminish and fade away unless it resonates without obstruction in the one who receives the master's transmission. Surrendering to the resonance of the masters transforms perception and transforms knowledge into insight beyond thought, thus transforming the perceiver, herself, himself, themselves. Surrendering to the resonance of the masters means surrendering to one's own mind. Quote from the second Dalai Lama, Song of Tantric Experience. All of one's activities become spiritual, regardless of how conventionally they appear, and every sound that one makes becomes a great Vajra song. Gedung Gyatso, and that is the end of this book. Acknowledgments. I owe profound thanks to His Holiness Drikung Chetsang Rinpoche as my root Lama, who has given me many priceless teachings, not only verbally, but also through his actions and simply through his presence. My encounter with him are a continual source of inspiration and joy. It has been my great good fortune to have been entrusted by him with the task of writing his biography. He has provided me with a spectrum of insights that reaches far beyond the framework of a biography through his admirable memory, his compassionate presence, and his special way of seeing things. Tulkus and Rinpoches of the Drikung lineage kindly made themselves available to me for interviews and allowed me to share in their memories of their lives in Tibet and in exile, and in their many-faceted reminiscences of Kyabgon Chetsang Rinpoche. This is the author speaking. Without the different perspectives they contributed, a presentation of the circumstances and events in Rinpoche's life that is both exact and lively would not have been possible. First and foremost, my thanks goes to Chetsang Kyabgon Chongsang Rinpoche, His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche, His Eminence Tokden Rinpoche, Venerable Gyalpo Rinpoche, Venerable Khenchen Konchok Gyalchen Rinpoche, and Venerable Drukpo Sonam Jorpal Rinpoche. In my previous video, I found a photo of Sonam Jorpal Rinpoche, and you can find it in the previous video. I have obtained my valuable information from many lamas, khenpos, and monks. The older ones among them even provided detailed descriptions of the times of the previous Chetsang Rinpoche and circumstances of the discovery of his reincarnation. And then there's a list of all the people. Oh, there's a Drikung Ratnashri Center in Tallinn, Estonia. So he also thanks the resident lama there, who we don't know the name. But yeah, he also wishes to thank Dr. Heather Stoddard, who is somehow connected to the French academic scene. And there's a lot of tea going down right now because they were going back and forth about what to call the region, Tibet or something else. And it's just like, okay. Swami Shambhavananda and Faith Stone, Sabrina Long, Peter Vaihi, Veronica Tupayachi, Daud Matai. Oh, he's one of the Lebanese disciples of Chetsang Rinpoche, and Rinpoche even visited Lebanon once upon a time, which is unimaginable nowadays. Yeah. Thanks so much for following this journey as I read through this book, as well as exploring the tradition experientially. And he gives thanks to his wife, as well as a translator who has a great command of German and English. Tering Gelig Pangri. Gelig is a wonderful friend, always charming and full of enthusiasm. He translated numerous Tibetan texts for me that I used as source material and explained the complex interconnections of Tibetan terms. And then there's an appendix of all the names of the throne holders. I'll just show you guys without reading it out. Okay, thanks and take care. Love is all you need. Good.